Hello and welcome to Learn with Indrjeet. This is another video in the series of videos titled Building a To-Do Management System in Microsoft .NET 8 Framework. In the previous video, we created a database and a table for to-do groups. Then, in Visual Studio, we created the different projects representing the different layers of clean architecture. If you haven't seen that video, please go ahead and watch that also. In this video, we'll be going to the domain layer and we'll create model classes for the to-do groups table. Then we'll be creating two repository interfaces, one for the generic repository and one for the to-do groups repository. Also, we'll be creating a iUnit of work interface. So let's get started. So here we are in Visual Studio. Let's go to the domain project, add a new folder for the models and add another folder for interfaces. Fine. In the models folder, let's add a new class by the name To-Do Group. Let's make it public and let's add properties representing the columns in the table. So public int id, it suggests the public string name. It is group name in the database. Then we don't have the description, so we need to do prop tab, date time tab, created on. Fine. Right, so these are the three properties representing the columns in the table. Right, now we want to remove the unused usings. For that, let's set it into the default profile that we have, the cleanup profile. So configure code cleanup and remove unnecessary imports or usings should be there. So okay, to invoke this profile cleanup, the shortcut is Ctrl+KE and let us save that. So our to-do groups model is ready. Now in the interfaces, we'll create two interfaces for the repositories. So let's add a new item which is in the interfaces. The name will be iRepository. This is going to be a generic interface, so let's make it public and let's make it generic of T model, where T model is a class, and let's have a task returning a I enumerable of T model. Let's name it get. Then let's have another function that will return a single model by ID. So let's return a single model. Again, the name is get and it will accept integer ID. Let's have a function for create, update and delete each. So void, it is suggesting delete. Let's take that. So void create, it will take a T model parameter, Ctrl+D to duplicate, and let's create another function for update. So this is for creating, updating and deleting the models. Now let's create functions to create, update and delete range of entities. So let's copy these three. I just press Ctrl and drag and drop for copy and paste. So create range, it will accept an enumerable of T models and will name them models. Okay, let's copy this and create the update. Remove this one and let's duplicate that and create the delete range function and remove this one. So this is a generic repository which will be used to get a list of models, get a single model, create, update and delete single models, and create, update and delete range of models, right? So we have some unnecessary unused usings. So let's press Ctrl K E to invoke the code cleanup profile and click save. Now let's create another repository for to-do groups. So add a new item, to-do groups repository. Okay, so to-do groups repository, add, let's make it public. Okay, and let's inherit it from repository of type to-do groups, to-do group, right? And here we will have only one function that will be used to find a duplicate to-do group if there is any. So it will return a single to-do group. The name will be get duplicate and it will accept a to-do group model, right? Okay, save. As soon as we click save, the profile 1 of the code cleanup invoked and the unnecessary using were removed, right? Okay, so now let's implement the unit of work. So once again in the interfaces, add new item, unit of work, let's make it public, save. Let's inherit it from disposable, and this will have only one method which will return a task of int, and it will be called save changes. Let's put in the to-do group repository also. So the name will be to-do groups repository, and it will only have a get. So the unit of work is now complete. So in this video, we created a model for the to-do group, then we created a generic repository, then we created the repository for to-do groups. We inherited it from the generic repo, and then we created the unit of work. In the next video, we'll be visiting the infrastructure project and we'll create implementation of all of these repositories. So if you like the content of this video, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for your time. Keep learning.